Dragon Ball Z is a classic, that is why today I'm going to be rating all of the sagas of Dragon Ball Z, so please, let me know down below what your rankings are for these sagas, down below in the comments. I'm curious what you guys think, because I know you guys are going to judge me, so give me a chance to judge you guys as well, so tell me down there. Let's begin. So the sagas we're going to be ranking are the Saiyan Saga, the Namek Saga, the Garlic Jr. Saga, Cell Saga, the Great Saiyaman Saga, and lastly the Buu Saga. These are the tiers I'm going to be ranking all of the sagas on. First up on the bottom we have, why is this on the list? It's for those sagas that aren't necessarily sagas. Like, are they even sagas? Like, do they even count? Next on the list we have filler. It's for those actual filler saga areas that happened in the original Dragon Ball Z. Obviously, Kai whittled all that stuff down, but I'm going to be going in a little bit deeper. And next up, we have I. Means these are okay. The saga's okay. It's good. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't the best. Next up, we have amazing. And that's because these sagas are top tier, but not the tippiest of the tops. They're still really good. I very much enjoyed it. Next, we have goated. Greatest of all time. Goated. Alright, so these are the sagas that I thoroughly enjoyed through and through, and I think they're classics, and I think that they will be remembered throughout time. There's like literally no controversy. Everybody just kind of goes, yeah, that was a great saga. So first things first, the Great Saiyaman Saga. Yeah, I know that's not in chronological order, and I know you're probably asking, why is this on the list? So it's going to go right here on, why is this on the list? Nah, but seriously, the Saiyan Saga. So it's the beginning of the Z series. Of course, there was original Dragon Ball, but this is probably your guys' first introduction into Z, so it's got that nostalgic factor to it. But I could be wrong, I could be wrong, because, well, Toonami did play Z first. Maybe you guys saw Dragon Ball first. But Toonami did play Z first, and I feel like a lot of the Namek Saga got reran a bunch, so this might not be your first introduction into the series. The Namek Saga might have been that, because I'm just saying, those reruns lasted a while. Regardless, I think that this is an amazing start to the series, even if it sort of just does jump the shark a bit. They kind of throw it on you that Goku's an alien, so it's Piccolo. But, Daima kind of complicates that just a little bit, but we're not going to talk about that. We find out that Goku has an older brother as well, and that's with Raditz, and that's, again, a very wild thing just to kind of toss out on you. I think it kind of took guts, and that's another reason why Dragon Ball is kind of the GOAT, because it just kind of just throws it on you, you're like, yeah, okay. Like, it's just funny that you accept that, And, yeah, Raditz lost potential. I'm just going to say it right there. But, as we know, this is how it goes. Raditz kidnaps Gohan, and essentially just try to force Goku's hand to complete his Saiyan mission to destroy everyone on the planet and allow it to be sold. Like, it's just, kind of cliche, but still really cool. I'm just saying, make people beg for their lives, etc., etc. But from that kidnapping, we did get one of my favorite things about this saga, and probably in the series. That's one of my favorite things in the series. It's not the favorite thing, but we get to see Gohan's hidden potential when he headbutts the crap out of his uncle Raditz in the chest, and that looked like that hurt quite a bit. Goku was being hurt pretty bad, and little dude got angry. I'm gonna just take off my headset. I feel like this is kind of annoying. But yeah, essentially, it was a hint for the future. And you know how the rest goes. Goku works with Piccolo. Goku gets drilled. He's a dead little boy, but that's okay. And Piccolo pretty much kidnaps Gohan from the kidnapper because, well, kidnapper's gone. But we find out that it's for a good reason because, well, let's be real here. They heard, and by they I mean Vegeta and Nappa, heard about the Dragon Balls from Raditz and was like, they're gonna be here in like a year, so better trade up. So, one, Piccolo sees the potential in Gohan, so he technically kidnaps him. But he trains him up for those 2 medicines. And it really just, builds the world of Dragon Ball. And I think that's, really cool. I think this is something that I really do like about Z. A lot of the arcs, or, sagas, connect, very well. And I feel like that's something Super doesn't do very, there's been, a little bit, but a lot of it's kind of disjointed, whereas in this, it's very, this, and it just connects pretty well in Z, and I just think that's, really cool. But, essentially, Nappa, Vegeta, they show up, and, Nappa sees a Pokemon. Goku gets wished back, takes care of business, with the help of the others, he nearly escapes Vegeta, Or, Vegeta returns to monkey mode. He's a great ape. Yajirobe comes in for the clutch. And if you don't like Yajirobe, you like him or not, that was clutch. You cannot deny that against Yajirobe. That was clutch as hell, okay? Just doing that. Clutch. Krillin going feral, trying to kill Vegeta. And Goku's just like, nah. Essentially, it sets up for the Namek arc. And this is what I was talking about before. It connects. You just, I want to put this whole series on Goated, but this saga, it's going on amazing. Okay, I know it's not Goated, but where do you guys put it? You tell me, okay? I'm putting on amazing. I'm not putting on Goated. I'm sorry. But next up, we have the Namek Saga. This one is
Mondo Cool. That's right, boys. Mondo Cool.
Cell used to be my personal favorite villain, but then Super came out. I'm gonna be quite honest, that kind of changed my opinion on Frieza. Actually, as I got older, I kind of understood how evil and grimy Frieza is, and that makes me kind of go, ooh, good villain. Anyway, that being said, the Sega Saga, the Sega Saga, what am I saying? The Saiyan Saga left a few people out of commission, and that's most notably Piccolo, meaning there's no Dragon Balls on the Earth. So what are they gonna do? Well, they found out that, Piccolo's a Namekian, thanks to Raditz. And because of that, there's a whole Namekian planet. They're the ones that made the Dragon Balls, so there's Dragon Balls on Namek. Wow, big brain thinking. I just love that though. Like I said, it sets up and the Namekians, of course. Again, they got the Dragon Balls. So everyone's like, oh, I guess we got to go there. And everyone leaves. Goku follows behind. He's not going with them immediately. But we get a lot of exposition. We're learning about Frieza, his soldiers, all that. Power levels, how they can be hidden, yada yada. Just a lot of interesting stuff. But it all just kind of leads to Vegeta getting beat down. He gets a Zenkai. He goes ballistic. He has a truce with Goku's homies. Mondo Cool. The potential has been unlocked with Krillin and Gohan.
Somehow I forgot to mention the Ginyu Force. They got jobbed pretty much. Goku just was like Kaioken and just took everybody out fastest in the universe. Zawarudo, body exchange. Yeah, nah, dude. Goku got that easy peasy. Which was a big surprise to Frieza, of course, because Elite Force. Yeah, no. Bunch of jobbers. But jobbers that everybody actually kind of likes. Unlike the pseudo Ginyu Force. I don't even know what they're called. But they were in Daima. Yeah, nobody really liked those guys. But the Ginyu Force.
Vegeta folds, of course. And, he deliriously calls Goku a Super Saiyan. Goku gets energized. He fights. He uses Spirit Bomb. They win. I'm just kidding. They don't win. Krillin turns it into fireworks. 5 minutes. Yep, 5 minutes. Totally not 50 episodes. I actually don't know how long it took, but, 5 minutes. But that's because they're moving in FTL speeds. They're moving super fast. We're just watching it in slow motion. That's kind of the whole consensus. Anyway, we get Super Saiyan. We got 5 big booms. 5 minutes, boom. Yeah. Anyway, Frieza steals, the techniques. The Destructo discs. They come back. Swiss cheese, cut in half. Asks for help because he's like, please help me. Clearly not the smartest move because Frieza's a moron. Muffin button. Poof. Saga over. Saga goated. Poof. Next. Saga. Garlic Jr. I don't know why I'm talking like this. But essentially, all I really remember from Garlic Jr. is that one of his GOONS is named Vinegar because of Team 4-Star. I'm going to be quite honest. I just remember all of them have pretty good puns because, his name's Garlic. So they're all, I think that's really cool, But I'm pretty sure, what is that, Dead Zone pretty much? But in a Saga. Anyway, total filler. So it's going to go in the filler area because this is technically filler. Not just for the series, but for the video. Gotcha. Anyway, the next saga is the Cell Saga. And like I said, Cell was my favorite before Super. And, he's still got a place in my heart. But it's 100% where Gohan hints, all those hints of him being super powerful. Because I didn't really mention, in the Frieza saga, Gohan kind of got a couple good licks in on Frieza. So, yeah, I'm just saying, there's a lot of hints to that. And, but yeah, so, essentially, all those hints take a hold. But I'm gonna ahead of myself a little bit because this is where we meet the drink, as everybody calls him, Future Trunks. And man really just kind of proves how powerful he is. At least they try to prove how powerful he is to us, the audience, because he single-handedly takes out Frieza, King Cold, all by himself, which is really impressive to us because we see how hard Goku went against Frieza. So for this to just be boo-doo-doo-doo, done, crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. But essentially, because of this, it splits the timeline. And now this isn't necessarily stated to us in the show, but with hindsight and with a little extra, we learn that. And, you know, all this timeline stuff really kind of canon and Dragon Ball makes it a little bit weird because, you know, timeline stuff. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. Everything's canon. Everything's canon. Because of this timeline thing, I'm just saying everything's canon in Dragon Ball. But is it canon to our timeline, etc., etc.? Anyway, let's just get... Okay. All right, so we found out that Trunks is from the future, and his timeline is wild. Everything's destroyed. A lot of main characters are out cold. Goku notably has a heart virus and dies to that before anything like crazy occurred. So, you know, Trunks comes because he wants to help change the future, and you know, we find out what happens there. Anyway, so 19 gets dropped by Vegeta because Goku tried to fight, but you know the heart virus got taken a hold, so he's out of commission for a while because his dumbass didn't take his meds right or something like that. My point being, do you guys know what happened? Because did he like not take them or something? Because Mans was like out of it. Regardless, 20, you know, which is Dr. Gero, Android 20, Dr. Gero, gets taken out by 17 as he awakens 17 and 18 as a last-ditch effort to, well, survive. We get to see a cell embryo as well in the lab. 17 and 18 escape. The lab gets destroyed. Thank you, Krillin. Vegeta's arm gets broken, which is an awesome detail that we see throughout the series. We learn that Cell from another timeline comes to this timeline. Thank you, Trunks, for leaving a time machine out in the open. Yeah, but essentially, that's what I'm saying. The timeline stuff confusing. Anyway, so, you know, Cell was just eating everyone up. Mainly, what, 17 and 18, so you could get perfect. Krillin has a crush on 18. 17 and 18 are different than in Future Trunks' timeline. They're not as, like, evil, I guess. Essentially, the reason why the saga is kind of long, though, as well, I'd say, it's probably because, well, if you don't know, 19 to 20 were originally the villains, but Toriyama's editor thought they weren't menacing enough. You know, like an old man and a mime. That's weird. Like, sheesh. Like, come on, you gotta make better villains. So they made 17 and 18, and it was kind of like the same thing. It's like, oh, they're two teenagers. They're not really that intimidating. 16 Glaze, though, I think, you know, that's worth it. I respect it. 16 actually is a GOAT, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think about 16. I think he's a GOAT. Do you think he's a GOAT? Tell me, because I will respect you. Anyway, so because of the editor, Cell was the villain in the end. And, I mean, I think that's pretty cool. And I think it's really good that, well, everything kind of worked out. The saga wasn't too confusing. Of course, there were some timeline, like, shenanigans that were a little bit weird and probably hard to follow. And I'd imagine there's some plot holes there. I couldn't really tell you. But, you know, considering everything that happened in the saga, the most important thing to really talk about now is just Vegeta got cocky. You know, Cell was all like, hey, I ate 17, I'm imperfect. If I eat 18, I'll be perfect. And, you know, Vegeta's like, okay, do it. And Krillin had a self-destruct button for 18, but just couldn't, you know, put it himself to actually push the button and kill 18. Because, well, one, Krillin has a crush. I mentioned that earlier. Krillin has a crush on 18. But two, like, the androids, they're cyborgs, really, aren't really that evil, I guess, in this timeline. Like they are in Trunks' timeline. Like, they're pretty much just, like, misguided teenagers. Like, I feel like that's kind of obvious at this point. And, like, again, they're human, they're cyborgs. Just Krillin can't kill them. And, well, Cell gets fed, and, well, becomes perfect. And the Saiyan cells activate. They kind of convince Mans to make a tournament, and this is where the saga turns into, like, a tournament arc. You know, he builds the stage, he gives them some time to really train, and he figures it won't be enough time to even get as strong he figured it won't be enough time to compare to his power level, and after all, Cell is perfect, right? But yeah, hyperbolic time chamber time for Goku and Gohan and Vegeta and Trunks. The Vegeta and Trunks, not very important to talk about that much. They just kind of bulk up. They clearly do get stronger. Obviously not enough. Gohan and Goku, on the other hand, Gohan gets Super Saiyan, and Goku knows that there's so much more within Gohan. And when they leave the hyperbolic time chamber, Goku has a brilliant strat to stay in Super Saiyan so they can master the form until, the fight. So throughout the whole week, essentially, they just have Super Saiyan on. I think that's really cool. But then we get a little silly Gohan filler. And, I feel like I do like this a lot because if you don't know, in Japan, if you're dyeing your hair, if you're blonde or whatever, it's just really sus. You're pretty much a delinquent. So we get this huge arc or the saga, this little time where they're hey, what the heck? And it's, I don't know, I think it's funny. It's a little slice of life. And I think it's nice to ease the tension, I suppose, of what was happening. But yeah, then we learn about Mr. Satan. He goes in to go fight Cell, gets hit into a mountain, and he lives. That's it. I feel like that's really important. You can't beat Mr. Satan in a fight in real life. There's no way. Especially even if you're a UFC fighter. Dude ate a mountain. You can't eat a mountain in a slap like that. Ain't no way. Anyway, it's Goku's turn to fight. He gives up and he says, I can't win. But hey, Gohan, you go in there. And Piccolo's WTF? What are you doing? Goku's just nah, he'd win. And Gohan's getting hurt bad. Gohan's getting destroyed. Cell's just trying to push Gohan to his limit, though, because he knows that Goku's nah, he's powerful. He's powerful. Goku be spitting. Goku he could beat your ass. And Gohan's nah, I can't do it, Dad. Cell's yeah, your dad says it, so you can. But Gohan's just not budging, essentially, So essentially, Cell calls out the Cell Juniors, takes out a lot of, he tries to take out a lot of the homies of Gohan. Goku tries to take out all of their friends, So while Goku and friends are getting absolutely mollywopped, before this even occurred, Android 16 tried to blow himself up, but the bomb inside him was, taken out by Bulma. So he did not know that, and man's got mollywopped. He is now just ahead on the battlefield, and Gohan's just watching all his friends get mercilessly beat down. Gohan's out here just trying to, talk some sense, but obviously sometimes you just gotta beat stuff down. At this point, Cell's hey, 16, yoink. But not before 16 was hey, Gohan, what you know about the birds? What you know about the plants? You gotta fight for the birds and the plants that they can't, protect themselves. No, sometimes you just gotta kill, you do what you gotta do, man. Gohan's what, I guess you're right. And, he's just mad because you stomped them, and he's what the heck? Why'd you stomp 16? And I like the birds. Boom, epic transformation. Super Saiyan 2, super darn iconic. His friends are getting beat down. He's not having none of that no more. Gohan goes, I got this. Takes out all the Cell Juniors. In the manga, it is so brutal. And actually, in the anime, I believe this is not in Kai, but just in the original, there's an extra Cell Junior that shouldn't be there. Regardless, really awesome to see. We finally got the transformation. All of those hints of Gohan's power in the past are now finally realized. So exciting, man. This is such peak. Gohan gets cocky, though. And this is a trend. So he plays with his food. And Cell's just
You're a child! I won't be beaten by a kid!
Kablooey, he goes into self-destruct mode. And because of that, he gets his dad killed. Goku gets killed because Goku teleports away, and a good gag right here, because he teleports to King Kai's planet, and the planet King Kai also kablooey. Regardless, Cell returns and he's stronger than ever. Trunks gets taken out. Big beam struggle. Vegeta distraction. Boom bang. Father-son Kamehameha. They win. That's the end. Goated Saga. Goated Saga. I just put this under goated. But that's when we shift to the next saga.
What did he say?
The Great Saiyaman. And is this even considered a saga? I don't know. You tell me. I mean, let's just be real here. This is where Z kind of goes into a little bit OG. It's a little DB roots. And again, it's a little bit calm before the storm. A little bit calm after a lot of craziness. So yeah, good slice of life comedy. Just cool stuff. The most important thing about this, though, is that we get introduced to Videl and how it's Mr. Satan's daughter and Goten, and if you don't think that's important, I mean, I guess we get Gotenks out of it, so, you know. But yeah, and here's the thing as well. A lot of people thought the show was supposed to end after the Cell arc, or like Gohan was supposed to be the main character. That's not the case. You know, again, I feel like this was just kind of like calm before the storm, and just a little slice of life to, you know, just kind of ease it a little bit. But, you know, essentially, we get the whole secret identity business, and this is where it kind of just turns into Boo, I feel like. I do like how, again, it just leads to the Boo saga. Like I said, it just leads to Boo. So, moving away from why is this on the list, I'm just going to put it on 8. I think that's probably, like, the right spot to put it, because, I mean, it technically is a saga. If anything, I should probably put Garlic Jr. there, but yeah. Anyway, all right, so the Boo saga. We're gonna say other than we meet Shin, Kibito, and a lot of new characters, and the fight against Videl and Popovich. This is where it really begins. This is where it really starts. I don't really want to talk about that fight too much, because let's be real here, it's pretty brutal. Like, anyway, so Yamu comes out because, well, Gohan, obviously, realistically, honestly, makes sense. Really mad. You know, really mad, goes Super Saiyan. But Yamu yoinks man's energy. That's when you find out about why Shin was there, because, well, Babidi out here trying to, you know, make Majin Buu come alive. And, you know, we just get a lot of backstory on that, which Daima kind of changed quite a bit. Let's be real here. Daima changed a lot, especially with this saga, because it's just, you know, technically Daima takes place directly after this, like a couple months after. So, yeah. We know Bobby's trying to awaken Majin Buu, and he needs energy for it. So, all in all, point being, we end up getting Goku and Vegeta, Gohan taking turns fighting a lot of Babidi's minions, and a lot of them just turn out to be jobbers. Deborah was the only one who put up like a decent fight. Again, I feel like just like Raditz, Deborah has a lot of lost potential, especially in Daima as well. Vegeta let it be known that he was really excited for their tournament fight. You know, Vegeta and Goku's tournament fight. And, you know, he just really wants it. But obviously, Boo's a bigger problem. But Vegeta allows himself to get taken over by Babidi, becomes Majin Vegeta. He just figures, hey, I'll get the edge against Goku in a sparring match. They get put back into the tournament stage. Vegeta wants to force Goku's hand to fight because it's obvious, you know, that Boo is the bigger issue. So they should take out Babidi before Boo awakens. But no, Vegeta out here impatient, wants to fight Kakarot. Forcing his hand, he destroys a big section of the stadium, which is taking out a lot of the audience. A lot of people are now, no, they are gone, they are vaporized. And Goku's like, oh, what the heck, man? Bulma's like, what the heck, man? Everyone's like, why is he evil again all of a sudden? This is terrible. Like, he's like, I was never good. Like, he's just trying to, like, 100%, like undo all of the progress he made, essentially, into being like a good guy, quote unquote. But Goku gives in, obviously, because it's just like, dude, what the heck? Boo ends up awakening mid-fight, because obviously the power, he's getting all the power because he's Majin now, so. Boo awakens. Goku begs Vegeta that they should go help, since Boo's causing a lot of havoc. And Vegeta just chops Goku and knocking Goku out, because Vegeta's like, I got this. He's just very cocky, and he's in this like little evil state. But he figured, hey, this edge is going to be good. I could definitely win, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, in the end, he does do the right thing. He embraces his son because he knows he's going to, well, not be around anymore. You know, Goten's there too. But point being, he chops them as well, knocks them out, and then just has them get taken away so he can do what he's got to do. Vegeta attempts a final explosion, turns to stone, dies. It's a very heartwarming moment. It's actually very iconic, but unfortunately, it doesn't beat Boo. But it was a very selfless act, and because of that, I'm correct, he did keep his body in the other world. But Goku comes to, and obviously wants to fight Boo, goes Super Saiyan 3, and this is another iconic moment, and I'm just saying, him going Super Saiyan 3, Vegeta probably stung for him a little bit. But another iconic scene, which was kind of like in Daima as well, but you know, this is Super Saiyan, this is Saiyan 2, this is to go further beyond, and we just, you know, really cool stuff, very awesome. But all in all, that wasn't even like enough, pretty much. You know, there's just like a lot of stuff going on. But Goku yaps and he gets Boo mad, pretty much, and Boo kills Babidi. But Boo's free. He's still going wild. He's killing and all that good stuff.
he's doing a lot of bad things. Mr. Satan comes along and just kind of just like, hey, yo, killing's bad, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, I know this is likely filler, but when he heals that blind kid, it is so nice. Because that blind kid's not scared of Boo, and he's like, why aren't you scared, whatever. He gives the blind kid sight, and the kid's like, not scared. He's like, oh, that was very nice. You're very good in the inside. And he's like, oh, that's just really heartwarming. But the thing is, Boo isn't necessarily doing this because Boo's evil. Boo's just too innocent and doesn't realize it's the wrong thing. First of all, Boo makes his house like out of people, turns them into clay, builds the house, finds a dog, heals it to, you know, try to scare it, but the dog becomes its friend. It's kind of nice to see Boo get a bunch of compassion and that really changing how he is. And that's where Mr. Satan kind of comes in and does everything properly. You know, he's doing the right way. Instead of like immediately fighting and just like attacking, he actually attempts to talk, which is something Goku normally does. Which I guess he did, but it didn't really like work very well. Like Mr. Satan's more compassionate than Goku. Nah. But essentially, you know, we know. Boo becomes like a sweet little guy. And, you know, all good things must come to an end. Honestly, let's be real here. Let's be quite honest here. The saga could have ended here if nothing happened. But unfortunately, sometimes that's just not how things go. There were some bad thugs, some bad men, some goons, if you will, that are just like, nah. And they try to kill Majin Buu. They start shooting. Buu gets really mad, but because of his anger, he expels Grey Buu out of himself. And again, that's basically evil Buu. So they kill, you know, Grey Buu kills the bad men. He also absorbs Majin Buu. You know, Super Buu comes out. But Super Buu is more smart. He's corrupted Buu. And it's just like very sad. Just like, man, what the heck? And he, you know, again, Super Buu doing a lot of bad things. Goku ends up teaching Goten and Trunks the fusion technique with Piccolo. And, you know, Gohan's working with Shin with the Z-Sword. The Z-Sword breaks. Old Kai comes out, revives Goku, since Goku was only supposed to be alive for a day because of Roshi's sister. You know, blah, 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 did you do, he, do, boo, boo, boo. Ultimate Gohan is born, tries to fight Super Buu.
So, Hotshot, you want to fight Majin Buu?
Fight you? No, I want to kill you.
And Gohan gets cocky once again. This is a trend. Yeah, Gohan's blind. You know, we got robbed. Okay, because this is you know we were supposed to get a fusion of Goku and Gohan as well, and I'm very sad because well he can't catch a Patara earring that Goku throws at Gohan. Okay, so I guess he can't see unless he has glasses or he's Super Saiyan. We got robbed, and Gohan ends up getting absorbed. And obviously, Super Saiyan 3 isn't enough against a very beefed up Buu. So we end up getting Vegito, and they fight. He gets himself absorbed, and, you know, we get a lot of retcons and stuff. But apparently the fusion was supposed to be permanent, but the gas inside of Buu diffuses them. It wasn't the time limit. It was just, yeah, no, it was just that. You know, in Super, we're like, oh, it's the time limit. They kind of just said that. And then in Diamond, they're like, nah, it's the Buu thing. So who really knows? But Daima really complicated that quite a bit, a little bit. Just a little bit, I'd say. So I guess Buu diffused them. Anyway. Vegito makes it, well, not even Vegito, they diffused. Goku and Vegeta make it so there's, you know, no more absorptions. And because of that, well, we get Kid Buu, we get Pure Buu. We find out that Buu absorbed the Kai, and that's why he was kind of like kind, I guess, because he got some of the personality of that Kai. But yeah, so we get Kid Buu, Pure Buu, and this dude's mad powerful. You know, the planet was already exterminated. Goku did end up saving Mr. Satan and Dende, and I feel like I do gotta mention that because that's really an important thing to mention. But Dende's alive, so they got Dragon Balls, and well, Mr. Satan's just Mr. Satan, but that's important later. So, Goku could have saved his own kids, but he didn't do it. Just throwing that out there. But they end up running away to the Kai's world, and Kid Buu ends up, well, at the Kai's area. That's how powerful he is. He ended up going to a whole different area. He went to a different dimension. But, you know, they try to fight Kid Buu. None of them are strong enough. It all turns out and ends up being how it normally goes.
Goku tries to do a spirit bomb, but he can't make it powerful enough, so he needs to talk to, Earth to get all their strength. They don't want to do it. Vegeta's getting his butt kicked. So Vegeta's like, good, talking to the people thanks to King Kai. King Kai is, like, hey, here's everyone on Earth on the line. Vegeta's like, hey, give them energy. Nah, they're not listening. Vegeta's being a very angry person, and nobody wants to do that. I'm gonna be quite honest. If I had somebody yelling in my ear, telling me to do something, being totally rude, probably not. But then, bright idea, Mr. Satan, you talk to the whole entire universe. Not the universe. You talk to the entire Earth. Talk to the planet. Then maybe I would, because I'm like, oh, well, that's Mr. Satan. I don't know who the equivalent to Mr. Satan would be in the real life, in the real world. If you guys know, tell me. But essentially, like, oh, I gotta listen to him. So that everybody puts their hands up. In fact, we actually get a cameo from, 17 and Launch. Really cool stuff. And funny, because I think in the manga it's supposed to be Launch, but that didn't happen, if I'm correct. But, yeah. So Toriyama didn't forget Launch either. I do want to mention that. Launch just went to, go to be with Tien for all those years. Anyway. So, yeah. And they get a ton of energy for the Spirit Bomb, tosses it. Still not enough. But good thing they got Dende, because Dende replenishes Goku's energy. So now, Kid Boo's struggling. Goku goes Super Saiyan. Boom, bada bang. Hey, hope you come back someday. Then we get Oob, the end of Z. Woo! But yeah. So essentially, yeah, I don't think it's goated. I do think it's amazing. And the reason why I say I don't think this is goated and this is going on the amazing area is because, well, while the Buu saga is really cool, the retcons, essentially there's a lot of stuff happening. And then the retcons kind of made it kind of inconsistent, at least to me. I still love it, obviously. The end of Z, I don't really have it listed as a saga, but yeah, that's goated. I think Dragon Ball as a whole is goated. But yeah, tell me what you guys think. I'm gonna just leave.